Thanks for joining us for this month's edition of Okaloosa Eye on Crime. And Emerald Coast Crime Stoppers gives you the opportunity to help law enforcement capture wanted fugitives and even possibly earn a cash reward at the same time, and you never have to give your name.
And now let's talk about this month's cases, where we've got one that is an armed robbery at a Fort Walton Beach convenience store, trying to solve that one. Also a theft of a massive $100,000 piece of construction equipment that just went missing. And we're also going to talk all things canine, and we're going to meet the stepson of an Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office deputy who has touched the heart of so many people at the agency. So let's get started.
Now, first up, the Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office is still seeking information in a 2013 Fort Walton Beach homicide investigation. It's regarding the shooting death of a Fort Walton Beach man inside his apartment back on April 27th, 2013. 32-year-old Paris Quentin Matthews was shot once around midnight at Renee Lynn Apartments there on Woodham Street after two men knocked on his door and barged in when he opened. Now, the suspects are described as black males who were wearing hoodies and had their lower faces covered. Anybody with information, anonymously, 863-TIPS.
And you know somebody out there has information about this crime. You've got a family that is looking for justice.
Yes.
They've waited a long time. Please come forward if you've got information on this case so that that family can have some closure. The Fort Walton Beach Police Department is trying to identify two men that robbed the Pit Stop convenience store on Hollywood Boulevard. That was back on February 21st of this year. One of those suspects was wearing a camouflage jacket, black pants, black shoes, and he had a white bandana covering his face. The second suspect had on a black jacket with two horizontal white stripes, also gray sweatpants, black shoes, a red billed hat, and a black bandana covering his face. And he was also carrying a Gucci backpack, something you don't see every day in an armed robbery. So anyone with information about this, contact Emerald Coast Crime Stoppers anonymously. Remember, you can call 850-863-TIPS, emeraldcoastcrimestoppers.com online, or use the P3 TIPS mobile application.
And next up, a man brandishing a gun held up the Waffle House at 460 Racetrack Road in Fort Walton Beach just before 5 a.m. on the morning of January 31st before running out the door and heading north. Now, the clerk says the man, who was wearing sunglasses and was dressed all in black with a white shirt tied around his face, appeared to be a white male. She also said he was about 5'6" tall with a stocky build. And you can see the photographs there. Anyone with information, contact Emerald Coast Crime Stoppers anonymously.
And we also have some pictures from the Best Buy in Destin, where on January 7th at around 8:15 in the evening, two black males, a black female, and a white female appeared to work together in the theft of Android tablets. The black female obtained empty shopping bags from a cash register and gave them to the male subjects, who then filled them with Android tablets and tried to go out of the business without paying. One male was able to successfully exit the store, but security attempted to detain the other male. He physically resisted and fled the scene, and the two females caused a commotion while security was trying to detain one of those males. So you had some getaways there that we're hoping can be solved with some information coming into Emerald Coast Crime Stoppers.
Yeah, and I think they also suspect that may not be the first store that they've hit kind of working together like that. So
might be roaming
take a look at them.
The region or more.
That's right. And the Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office is investigating the theft of a backyard bucket lift from a property on Live Oak Church Road in Crestview. The white 2014 Altec 35-foot bucket lift, which was on tracks, valued around $100,000, was taken sometime between March 2nd and 5th, and also a 14-foot dual-axle flatbed trailer was stolen. Now, the trailer's valued at about $20,000, and it had an Alabama tag of 11UTK179. Take a look at it. That is actually a picture of the actual vehicle that was stolen. Anybody with information about that theft, give us a call, 863-TIPS.
And we know that you're perplexed, like we are, how someone can back up and get a $100,000 piece of construction equipment out of there without anybody noticing. So it's out there roaming around somewhere. It's going to be hard to hide. So if you've got any information on that, remember, you can receive a cash reward of up to $3,000 for information leading to an arrest.
That's right. And now let's run down our first set of suspects that local law enforcement agencies are hoping you can help locate. And these lists are as of today's taping date, which is March 8th, 2017. First up is a new face to the show, Chad Alford, who is wanted by the Walton County Sheriff's Office for aggravated assault and cause cruel death, pain, or suffering to an animal, last known to live on Powell Drive in Niceville.
That's somebody we would really like to see get captured. Chad Alford, please call if you know where to find him. Joe Edward Pettit Jr. is 40 years old, wanted for violation of probation for fleeing and eluding law enforcement, and Pettit's last known address was on Mooney Road in Fort Walton Beach.
And next up is 38-year-old Michael Lee Folsom, who is wanted for possession of a controlled substance and possession of narcotics equipment, last known to live on Schaffner Avenue up in Crestview.
Dennis Taylor Jr. didn't show up for a charge of fraud or providing false statement to obtain unemployment compensation, so he's wanted for failure to appear and last known to live on Brook Street in Fort Walton Beach.
And William Brian Harnish, who's 39 years old, last known to live in Freeport, is wanted for violation of probation for possession of a controlled substance and possession of drug paraphernalia.
Ramon Wayne Shaw gets to have his mug taken down because he has been located since our last show.
But we're still looking for 33-year-old Samantha Jo Hill, and she's wanted for violation of probation for possession of a controlled substance, possession of drug paraphernalia, and grand theft, last known to live in Niceville. And some good news, thanks to a Crime Stoppers tip, Kevin Allen Rogers has been located and is in custody.
Love those tips. Leanne Summer Lawson is up next. She's 19 years old. She's wanted for violating probation on a charge of possession of cocaine, last known address Seibert Avenue in Destin.
And next up, the Walton County Sheriff's Office is looking for Lucas Lorenzo Williams for armed robbery. It was actually a robbery that occurred up in Defuniak Springs back on October 27th of last year, and he was last known to live in Pensacola. He also has some Escambia County warrants as well.
Searching for 34-year-old Arthur John Collins. He's wanted for aggravated battery. Collins' last known address was in Crestview.
And some more good news, Aaron Chase Fowler has been located.
Still looking for Stephen Sherman as well, 57 years old, wanted for extortion or threats. His last address was on Vinings Way in Destin.
And last up on our first list is Lennon Wayne Harris, who's 21 years old, and he's wanted for violation of probation and failure to appear for the original charge of burglary, last known to live in Fort Walton Beach. And next up, we want to spotlight the Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office K-9 unit because, of course, we love all things K-9. So today we are thrilled to have Deputy John Duenas and K-9 Axel here joining us. And these two and other agency handlers and their K-9s just took part in the United States Police K-9 Association Region 1 certification trials right next door in Santa Rosa County. And both Walton County and the Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office took home some honors, and including top dog for Walton County Sheriff's Office, Kristen Pond, and her K-9 cane. And now you and Axel placed first in the interdepartmental team, and that included you and Axel, and then also a handler from Santa Rosa County. So tell us the qualities you look for in a good law enforcement K-9.
Well, we first start off with the actual age in the dog so we can look at the maturity. Generally, we try to get them anywhere between a year and a half to 2 years old. After that, we look at the drives in the dog, see if the drives are going to be there to be able to train the dog. We utilize toys also if they're going to be able to handle the stress during situations while they're on the street apprehending a bad guy.
And explain to us what the certification trials are all about and why they're important.
Well, they're important because it shows the court system and also the public that, you know, these dogs are controlled. What we go through USPCA is the first day we go with obedience. They score us on our obedience, if it's heeling control, walking control, or distance control. Then we go to agility. When I say agility, the dogs have to jump over hurdles and go through a catwalk, go under a tunnel. We call it a crawl. So there's certain obstacles they go through. And then the second day, we have to do a search. The search of a bad guy, which simulates in the real world. We have 6 boxes out there. They have to find out where the bad guy is and alert on the bad guy. And then we do articles on the second day also, where there's 5 different odors that are 5 different textures on the actual for the articles, and they have to go find them. On the last day, generally it's the apprehension day. What we go through is The dog has to be able to be controlled. We could send him actually after a bad guy, and he has to come back, which is, we call that a recall. And then they actually go bite the bad guy, and he has to come back to us, and we search him. After that, there is what we call a false start. The bad guy actually has to run off, and the dog has to sit and stay without moving. At the end of that, we usually do it on that third day, or it could be on the fourth day. We do the same thing apprehension-wise, but with gunfire. So the dog doesn't have to be, he can't be scared of gunfire. So the bad guy, which we call a decoy, fires 2 shots, and he apprehends the bad guy, and we have to actually have control over the dog and go down there and ask the dog to come back to us, and we pat him down.
A lot going on in those 4 days.
It's fun, and it's a great experience. I think every handler should go through one.
And of course, at the end of it, you guys do a wonderful public demonstration. I know you did it at Navarre High School. We have some video that we posted on our Facebook page, but that was so much fun as well. But just kind of tell us, is there any such thing as a normal day for a canine unit, like on an average day, you know, and what might it entail, just an average day out on patrol?
Well, you know, being in canine, it's a lot. Believe it or not, we spend more time with our dogs than we do with our families, our kids, our spouse. And it's, you know, he is geared just like we are. When that alarm clock goes off, he could tell if I'm putting on just regular clothes to go out and go shopping, or if I'm putting
this
actually,
going to work.
He's going to work. And he's real bad about it, because what he does is if he sees me getting ready, he would bounce on the front door, where it's so annoying in a way. I have to go put him in the patrol car and then come back. But out on regular patrol, it's not, he's always looking for a job. It's a mission to him. So when he's in that car, because we train so much every day, he's so excited to get out and do something. And it's really not a normal day, because we're doing something. If it's not training, we're trying to, you know, get out there and fight crime, pretty much.
Well, we want to thank you today for joining us and letting us enjoy I know Michelle and I are both thankful that you join us, and you know you can come back anytime on our show, because we really enjoy the canines. So thank you.
Thank you.
Now, next up, we want to remind you that Emerald Coast Crime Stoppers does not receive any taxpayer dollars as part of its funding, so we rely a lot on private donations. And one of the things we do is an annual fundraiser, which is coming up here April 22nd, and that's our annual Crawfish Boil and Mud Bug 5K run, and it's going to be at Uptown Station on April 22nd, which is a Saturday. And this year we have an announcement to make, which is that we're going to have a live Zydeco band there, probably close to 2,000 pounds of crawfish, because we sold out of 1,500 pounds last year. Of course, the sheriff's office will have a canine out there. There's a whole lot of fun things for the kids to do. The little splash pads right there, and the playground as well. And of course, the crawfish is unbelievable. It's really good. If you've ever been out to the event, you know they are generous portions.
Yes, if you're a fan of it. I mean, you can't close the lids on the boxes. People are walking around trying to get them down, and it's almost impossible to do. So you definitely get your money's worth.
Yeah, so come on out, and of course, you can go to emeraldcoastcrimestoppers.com and find out more information, not only about the run and how to register for that portion, but also about the crawfish boil. But at 11 o'clock, the live music will start, and we will be there till 2 o'clock or until we run out of crawfish.
Well, I was going to say, you keep that in mind. You want to get there early, because you get
While
such a big
supplies
crowd.
last.
That's exactly right. That you can see the line sometimes winding all the way around, people trying to get in there to get their fair share of what's a really, really good deal. You've got live entertainment, and then you're also helping to sponsor a program that helps fight crime in your local area. So this is just a win-win-win situation for everybody to attend.
Sure is.
Okay, next up we're going to tackle our next round of fugitives, and we do want to remind you that you can earn a cash reward of up to $3,000 for any information that leads to arrest. $3,000 reserved usually for those big high-profile cases, felonies, but it is simple to contact Emerald Coast Crime Stoppers. You never have to give your name. Most people know that by now, but you do have to use the Emerald Coast Crime Stoppers tip methods to be eligible for a reward.